Hello again. Now I'm going to tell you about the next story in the succession of my long trip that I made from Washington State all the way into Idaho, down through Utah to Arizona, and then back up California, Oregon, and then Washington. So, the last story I told you about was in Idlewild, Southern California, in the mountains. And so when I came back to Palm Desert, California from Idlewild, it was nice and sunny and warm, and boy, was I happy to be in town. So I had made a reservation. Fortunately, I had been able to. They aren't always available. When I was in Idlewild, stuck in the snow, I made a reservation at a place called Palm Springs, and it's in Palm Desert, California. And this story is rather uneventful in comparison to the story of my last video and in the next video. But sometimes we just need periods of time in life like this to give us a break, to give us a breather, so that we can deal with the next crisis, because there's going to be another one. So basically, it was really nice. I went to the people. The staff was nice. I found a spot, and it was pull through. And because I'm towing, and I can't back up, finding a pull through, and there weren't very many of them in Fort. So fortunately, I was able to find one. That's becoming more and more of a problem when I go from one camp to another, is finding pull-throughs. And what has been happening is people have been coming around and helping me, and otherwise, hopefully I can find the pull-throughs. What'll probably end up happening is I'll just go to the campgrounds where they have pull-throughs, and I won't go to the ones that don't. So, so it went well. I had women on both sides of me, so I felt, like there were people around in case I was screaming bloody murder. Somebody would hear me, and there was a pool there, and I didn't get the chance to go swimming. I don't exactly remember why. I just didn't get around to it, or maybe I didn't feel well. So I'm still in the process of purging foods that my stomach can no longer tolerate because of my gallstones and my pre-ulcerative condition. And there are two different problems that that can further limit my food choices. So I gave them to the nicer lady of the two ladies that were parked on the other side of me. I gave a bunch of food to the nicer one, the one who was friendly and talked to me. So she got my food. I think I'm going to do a video on my health, and maybe about gallstones, maybe about ulcers. I don't know, something along those lines, because I can't eat beef. I can no longer eat beef, and I can no longer eat nuts. When I had a smoothie with almond milk and pea protein, I got really sick. And also when I had organic beef broth, bone broth, I got really sick. So even if they say somebody with gallstones has to cut out saturated fats, a lot of oils, because that's what created my big gallstone. Anyway, beef Can't my body right now is not capable of digesting beef or eggs or nuts. And anyway, a lot of high cholesterol, high sugar stuff either. I shouldn't be eating ice cream, but a little bit, not too much. Okay, so anyway, I had a nice time. The staff was nice, and in the first morning after I got there, um, I went in the bathroom, and there was a lady cleaning in there, and she didn't like kick me out or be rude to me in any way, um, like I had an experience in Washington. And she was really nice, and we had a nice long conversation. And okay, so then they had a church service in their lodge, and of course, it wasn't not everybody didn't have to. Nobody had to go. It was just people who chose to go, and I went because I hadn't been going to church much lately. Um, it it was actually my second church service. The only two services that I was able to attend during my trip. Normally, I attend church usually every week. Um, so I went to that, and it was really good. I really liked it, and yeah, it's good. Okay, so nice little church service, and nice friendly staff, and even when I'm doing stuff, buying ice, whatever, good humor people, nice people, friendly, nobody coming to give you a hard time because you breathe wrong. I don't know, whatever, but it was just nice. It was refreshing, and I highly recommend it. Palm Springs. Um, I'm not going to tell you my camping membership, even if you've already figured it out. I'm not going to say it out loud. So yeah, Palm Springs campground in Palm Desert, California. Um, yeah, really boring. It was great. I love boring sometimes. Boring is awesome. I love boring. I want more boring when I'm in camp, not when I'm outside of camp, because there's another kind of boring when I'm not in camp. Because right now I'm not in camp because I can't pay for my license plate, and so it's parked in somebody's yard until I can. So I don't know what else to tell you. There's nothing else to tell you about Palm Springs in Palm Desert, California. So the next story is quite extensive about the next place I went. It has a whole nother adventure of its own, and a little similar to the Idlewild story, but a little different. Um, and I might even do a two-parter for that one because it's kind of a long story. There were a lot of events that happened not just at camp, but when I left camp, I had some other events happen in town. And so great, great camp, great time. Very boring video, very boring story, but it was really nice. Okay, God bless. And I got my hair cut. Can you see? Okay, so actually, real quick, I'll tell you what I did with why I did this, why I cut my hair. The deal is because I used to have really long hair. I used to have long hair with bangs, and before that, like when I was married, I used to have really long hair with no bangs at all. And even before I got married, I had my hair like that for several years. What happened was, excuse me, I went to get my hair cut, and I said, well, because I had like, when I was going into this borrowed shower tent when I was in Quartzsite, a big chunk of my hair kind of ripped off. It got caught in the zipper when I was going into the shower tent, and so I told the lady, but she didn't speak very clear English, and so I was telling her about that, and I said, well, I kind of want to cut off to the uneven layers to make it, the same. And I said, I've had it short, I've had it long, I don't really care. I was just very, whatever. And so, because I didn't make things really clear to her, she just did what she wanted. But here's the thing, she did a really good job. See, I could tell by the way she was doing the side, she was doing the layering thing. She was doing a really good job. I can tell she knew what she was doing. See, because most of the time when I go to get my hair cut, it's just my bangs most of the time. And I just would keep the length, long and just do my bangs. Um, and usually most of the time when I go to the cheapy places to get my hair cut, they do a terrible job. They create bangs that weren't there before, and then they don't trim them all, and then they're uneven, and it's longer on one side, and then they just mess them all up. And so I was glad about that. And you know what? I'd rather have a different kind of haircut and have it done well by somebody that knows what they're doing than to have it done by somebody that does a terrible job. So I'm happy with it. I like it. I think it'll be cute. I think when it's growing out, it'll have a nice full look instead of just straight all the time, which is usually um, you know how I've been wearing it. So maybe I'll change it up a little bit. Maybe I'll layer it all over the place as I'm growing it out. Who knows what I'll do? Anyway, I like it. It's different. So see you in my next video.